going on, Jerome? Beautiful Tuesday. Birds are chirping and stuff, and time for another Vikings news dump. So the news of the day yesterday is that the Vikings week 2 of the preseason will be getting it on TCO Performance Center Bar and Grill against the New England Patriots in joint practices. Now, I like joint practices. I think it's smart because, training camp, you're beating up on your teammates day after day. Eventually, you just get sick of each other. That's what happens. But bringing another team has we get to beat up on someone else. It's fantastic. And getting a couple of good days of practice in game scrimmage situations as well as ahead of a preseason game. I get smart. Guessing the Vikings are all set for joint practices with the Patriots before their Week 2 preseason game at US Bank Stadium. They'll welcome New England to the TCO Performance Center Bar and Grill for the practices. And of course, Garrett Bradbury revenge game. Great. Cool. Also, Drake May. Hey, did you know that Josh McConnell was Drake May's high school coach back in the day? I think Drake May is going to be good. They need some help around him, and they definitely spent up in free agency this year. Also drafted Will Campbell to be his blindside protector. It's going to be pretty good. Also, I completely forgot that Stefon Diggs signed with the Patriots. I did. He's been bouncing around, whether it be the Bills, the Texans, now the Patriots, whatever. Yeah. Stefon Diggs' legacy is weird with the Vikings. Obviously, it didn't work out, but Minneapolis Miracle, great value for a 5th-round pick out of Maryland back in the day. His trade ultimately led to Justin Jefferson. For that, we thank you. Also, 0 sisters dated. That's it. That's it, man. Also, so Nick Sirianni got an extension. Why? Whatever. But 33rd team. I didn't know 33rd team is still doing content. Or are they just doing infographics now? Active winning percentage leaders among head coaches. Nick Sirianni, allegedly, 706. Jumping Jim Harbaugh, 685. Now, that of course, includes his run with the San Francisco 49ers. His run with the 49ers was one of the reasons why I was actually fired up about him potentially joining the Vikings, because it's clear that he could win on the NFL level. LeFleur, 670. Again, allegedly recount. 5, Sean McDermott, 656, getting his jihad on. And then 4, coach, of course, Kevin O'Connell, 667, which it's interesting because 667 is his career passing percentage. He completed 4 out of 6 passes from back in the day. It's good times. But Kevin O'Connell, his coaching record. Now, obviously, 667 is impressive. Actually, by percentage, he's the winningest coach in team history, even over Bud Grant. But, of course, Bud Grant had longevity. It's been 3 years with Kevin O'Connell. Now, yes, the blight on his resume is, well, all right, so a 13-win season and division title, a 14-win season is nice, but you haven't won a playoff game yet. 0 for 2, both in the wild card. That Lions game last year was de facto wild card game that did not work out. But beating it would have been nice to beat the Giants. That game was just there. Of course, the Rams game, what a debacle. All right, so that's the knock on Kevin O'Connell right now. But it could be two things, like, you can denigrate him for not getting over the hump as of yet, but still, he's a young coach. He's still finding his way. Wasn't a full-time play caller before taking over in Minnesota in 2022, so that's part and parcel there. But you can also say in the same breath, his success, it's really damn good. It's a good start. And the team buys into his brand. His emotional EQ is off the charts. He's the quarterback whisperer. He and J.J. McCarthy together long-term. And who would you rather have right now? Honestly, just go back to his list. Would you rather have Sirianni? No. Would you rather have Jim Harbaugh? Could have had him. Would you rather have LeFleur? No. McDermott? No. As well as Dan Campbell? No. So I would want Kevin O'Connell rocking this thing. So things are going. Every little thing is going to be all right, because now think about it, because it took a couple years. Now, if Kwesi had been given his druthers, I wonder if he would have just tore this roster apart and rebuilt it in 1 year. But the Vikings basically did it over 3 years because it still wanted to be a competitive rebuild. Because, if you're the Wolves, you still want butts in the seats, right? And you can't blame them, as opposed to just completely tearing it down, having a whatever season, then rebuilding it. But I think Kwesi, it's like turning a battleship. It takes a while, but I think we're finally in the right direction. This is Kevin O'Connell and Kwesi's roster now, so we can go from there. Also, so this is funny. Best players in the NFL. So PFF, I mean, we talked about how Randy Moss wasn't included in the list, and this is the best since 2000. So, of course, it didn't include 98 or 99, two major seasons with Randy Moss with the Vikings. So we talked about how Brown, Jones, and Tyreek Hill, they didn't count. Plus, as we said, PFF didn't start keeping grades until 2006. So basically, it completely nixed out the Randy Moss era, essentially. But there's another one where we got some consternation. So running back, of course, there's only one running back because it's PFF. But Derrick Henry got the nod over Adrian Peterson. Now, whatever you think about Adrian off the field and all that stuff, but as a running back on the field with the Vikings, he was an all-time legend, right? And head-to-head, compared to Derrick Henry, like Adrian has the edge in every category except for yards per carry and yards per reception. That's it. And now, yes, he has played more games than Derrick Henry at this point, but also let's be real. Like Adrian's time in Arizona and with the Saints and with Washington, and remember he played for the Lions. Like it just wasn't good. All right, so his prime seasons were with the Vikings, and almost 15,000 rushing yards. Could have been more, except he basically got suspended for a year. 120 rushing touchdowns, and he was a slightly better receiver than people give him credit for. Not much, but slightly. Also, I forgot he returned 17 kicks. That's wild. That's wild, man. 2,400 fantasy points. That's what's really important here. But of course, 7 Pro Bowls, 7 All-Pros, 1 AP MVP in 2012, coming back from that torn ACL, which remember was relatively late in the season. Coming on back, and then Offensive Player of the Year, each have 1 and 1. So, I mean, for me, obviously it'd be like, well, it's PFF. So what about the receiving numbers? What about them? Like it's a wash, right? And I understand. It's like, and also they don't have the 2006 excuse for this because they started keeping grades in 2006. Adrian came to the league 2007, so they've been around his entirety of his career. So Adrian actually has way more beef than Randy Moss not being on that PFF list, but it is what it is. Also is what it is. NFL owners meeting in Minneapolis this week for whatever reason, and they're going to be voting on some rule changes potentially. So first off, Ari Mariev has been doing great on all this stuff. Now official, NFL owners will vote this week on proposal to change the playoff seeding format. Teams will be seeded 1 through 7 strictly by regular season record. If you win your division, you do get in the playoffs, but you don't get a home game, which I think is a stupid trade-off. But you get in the playoffs. It still doesn't matter. Like the home game wild card weekend, that's huge. That's monstrous, man. The NFL's reasoning, competitive equity, whatever. It rewards the best teams, adds late season excitement, and ensures more meaningful games down the stretch. I argue that it does the opposite of late season excitement because, I mean, the stakes were high for Vikings Lions week 18, but loser would have the 5 seed, winner would have the 1 seed, but it really took away the starch because it's like, oh, if we lose, we're still the 3 seed, and we still host a playoff game. So that took away drama. Plus, teams are always champing at the bit to win the division because of that hosting that home game. And if they take that away, it's kind of pointless, right? And also, as we said, record can be a little bit luck of the draw in terms of the divisional rotation because the Vikings, Lions, and the Packers, they went 12-0 against the AFC South. They also went 11-1 against the NFC West, NFC West. We won't talk about that one loss. So let's be honest. The Lions with 15 wins, the Vikings with 14 wins, the Packers with 11 wins. I mean, a lot of it was luck of the draw when it comes in terms of schedule. And I don't know. Like I don't want the top seeds decided like that, but it just sort of is what it is. When it comes down to it, here's what's great too. The Vikings have nothing to do with this. The Vikings did not propose this. The Vikings did not second this. The Vikings didn't do anything here. The Vikings have not been advocating for this, even though they obviously would have been the hugest beneficiaries of it last year. But again, it's the Lions who proposed this thing because they know they're not winning the division anytime soon. Going to be biblical. But if this does pass, I will almost guarantee that they'll switch back within 10 years because this is stupid. Actually, they'll expand to 8 teams. That's what they'll do. Also, developing the Packers have submitted a revised proposal to ban the Tush Push, prohibiting any pushing or pulling of the ball carrier anywhere on the field. NFL owners will discuss and likely vote on it this week, which, even though F the Eagles, I don't think that I don't think it should be banned. Like the Eagles have this play. They do it better than anyone else. Now, it would be better if the existing rules were applied in terms of like the line of scrimmage, in terms of like the centers lining up over the ball. Like there's easily several infractions by the offense on this. Also, this could come down to what Frankie Louvu did, Eagles versus Commies, where he'll just keep jumping offside, hoping to get lucky and time it right and force a fumble. Otherwise, he'll just take the half-inch penalty every other time. And the ref came out and says, like, we can just award points. You don't want that. With a league where the fans already think that everything is rigged, all of a sudden the refs can just put points up on the board because they feel like it. Not going to happen. So, I don't know, like, teams can just stop it, or teams can get better at executing it themselves, but we'll see. Also, so this is a rule change. Well, the NFL owners will vote this week on proposed tweak to the onside kick. Tear it down. Burn it. The kicking team would line up 1 yard closer. Oh, Lordy. Come a little bit closer. I'm all alone. Slightly closing the gap. It won't work. It's not going to work. Teams could attempt it anytime while trailing, not just in fourth quarter. The goal is to raise success rates when we're just 6% last season. That's because onside kick is a low percentage play, even if it's a surprise onside kick. Replace it with the team that wants to have the onside kick, 4th and 15 at their own 35. If they pick it up, they keep the ball. That's it. Hey, have it be decided by an actual football play, and then just go from there. But the onside kick is so monstrously stupid. And also, I'm also saying this because the Vikings were one of 2 teams who gave up an onside kick last year. Stupid Bears. Yeah. But also, something that's not stupid tonight. Bring your ass. Wolves, Thunder. In OKC. Wolves going to steal one. Steal home court advantage. Actually, they're going to sweep down there. 2-0. 2-0 for Mike Yo. Wolves in 5. And there's so many reasons. First off, so SGA, very talented player, except I don't like what the league has devolved into because it's become a lot like soccer. And I'm not going to blame it on the international influence of the game, but humans respond to incentives. And the incentives by players, just like in soccer, is if you can feign a foul, that's huge. I mean, you get free throws. Now, it's even more pronounced in soccer because if you can draw a penalty in the box and you get a PK, like that's monstrous. And penalty kick conversion rates are like 93%, right? And also, one goal is huge in soccer, but that's what happens in basketball, like over and over and over and over again. It's like, hey, just play hard. Just take it to the rack. Stop trying to simulate fouls every single time. There's so many times guys like SGA, guys like Jokic, just they jump up and try to create contact. And I know that it could be offensive fouls. It could be called for simulation, but it's not called enough. Like all the flopping, all the ridiculousness, just play. And Anthony Edwards, Ant just plays. And maybe that's why he doesn't get a superstar whistle, because he gets hacked all the time, driving to the hole. But if he feigned, loaded, then shot me. No, it's ridiculous. So hoping that the Wolves beat the Thunder's ass. And the winner of the West is going to win the whole thing. Whether it's the Pacers or the Knicks are going to win the whole thing. Hopefully it's going to be the Wolves. The Wolves are deep. They play great defense. It's going to be a tough series because, yes, OKC plays great defense. Caruso is an underrated stud. Him against Randall is going to be fantastic. But screw Skip Bayless, who's apparently was born in Oklahoma City. Screw him. Screw his face. Screw everything. And Finals MVP. And we'll just go from there. Just also, this team is set up for success, man. Like young pieces all over the place. Keep Naz Reid and just go from there. Like win Mike Conley a ring. Nah can step up this series against his cousin. DiVincenzo can get his head out of his ass and actually do something. It's going to be fantastic, man. And Naz Reid, baby. Anyways, that's it. Vikings news dump on this beautiful, glorious Tuesday. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skol, production value.